Hi people, let's start quick revision video of Essay 210. We will be covering some important questions all together with the concept clarity. So let's start our quick revision video. But before moving forward, do make sure you are liking this video so that it reaches to mass audience. So let's focus on the Essay 210 part. So there is VDA client and a JTLL auditor, Google Term Society. VDA client, JTLL auditor. So before moving to actual audit, there is an engagement letter signed between both the parties, the client and the auditor, which clearly defines the terms and conditions, and it should be in writing. Why engagement letter is required? To avoid the misunderstanding. Okay, so all the terms and conditions of the work will be mentioned in our engagement letter, and Essay 210 focus on only audit engagement letter aspects. Okay, now let's focus on one more part. Auditor sent engagement letter to the client. This can be asked in your MCQ. Auditor send engagement letter to client sign it, and then it get finalized. So this can be asked in your MCQ. Then one more important part. Key areas to be included in the engagement letter. 5 key areas that you need to mention in your exam that need to be included in your engagement letter. First is objective and scope of audit of financial statement. Very straightforward. What is the objective of audit? What is the scope of audit? Then 2 points are related to auditor and 2 points are related to management. Please speak. 2 points are related to auditor and 2 points are related to management. So 2 points related to auditor are responsibility of the auditor and expected form and content of the audit report. But statement altogether that there can be change in the expected form and content of the audit report if the circumstances change. The 2 points of auditor are responsibility of the auditor, expected form and content of the audit report, plus a statement that there can be change in that expected form and content if circumstances demand. As soon as auditor talks about his 2 points, management comes and management say my 2 points are responsibility of the management and identification of applicable FRF. Focus. Identification of applicable FRF is also the duty of the management. Management has to assess whether AS will be applicable or IND-AS will be applicable. Okay, sir. So the major key areas are objective and scope of audit of financial statement, 2 points of auditor, responsibility of the auditor, expected form and content of audit report, plus a statement that there can be change in expected form and content if circumstances demand. Then 2 points of management, responsibility of the management and identification of applicable FRF. Examiner can ask 5 marks question directly. Okay, sir. Then let's elaborate responsibility of the management. We know we basic part of responsibility of the management is sir, it is the responsibility of the management to prepare and present financial statement as per applicable FRF. Yes, sir. So preparation presentation of financial statement, it is the responsibility of the management, and it should be done as per the applicable FRF. Second, to prepare and present financial statement, management devise internal control. Necessary internal control is devised for better preparation or presentation of financial statement as per applicable FRF. 2 points are very straightforward. Then third point. Third point has 3 subpoints. So provide auditor with access to all information management is aware that is necessary for preparation presentation of financial statement. That is, you need to give auditor access to all information that was necessary for preparation presentation of financial statement. Second, auditor may be requiring some additional information for the purpose of auditor, you need to give. And third, unrestricted access to the person whom auditor may consider necessary for obtaining audit evidence. Are you getting my point? So responsibility of the management, 3 points, and third point has 3 subpoints. Sir, please repeat. Preparation and presentation of financial statement as per applicable FRF. Devising internal control necessary for preparation presentation of financial statement as per applicable FRF. And third point, provide auditor with 3 points. Access to all information management is aware of for preparation and presentation of financial statement. Second, auditor may request additional information for the purpose of audit. And third, unrestricted access to the person within the entity from which auditor may obtain audit evidence. Are you getting my point? Yes, sir. And one more thing, identification of applicable FRF. It is the responsibility of the management only. Management identifies the applicable FRF, whether AS will be applicable or IND-AS will be applicable. Okay, sir. Okay. Now connects the dot. Try to understand. Responsibility of the management and identification of applicable FRF. When we combine both 1 and 2, we use the word precondition of the audit. So what are the preconditions of the audit? Responsibility of the management and identification of applicable FRF. Focus. We will be using the appropriate language, but first let's keep it very raw. You studied 2 points, responsibility of the management and identification of applicable FRF. I am combining these 2 points and giving the name precondition, both 1 and 2 precondition. And auditor says, management, you need to satisfy your preconditions. If precondition is not satisfied, any one condition is not satisfied, I will not accept such audit. You discuss with the management and don't accept such audit unless required by law and regulation, Modi ji. Okay. So first thing, connect the dots. You studied the 2 points, call them as precondition. If any of the precondition is violated, you don't need to accept such audit unless required by law or regulation. Okay. So how you will present this in answer? For responsibility of the management, what auditor will do? How auditor will check that precondition is satisfied or not? Auditor will obtain agreement from management that it acknowledge and understand its responsibility. Auditor will obtain agreement from management that it understand and acknowledge its responsibility, and for identification of applicable FRF, auditor will determine whether identified applicable FRF is acceptable. This acceptable word is very important. Management has identified applicable FRF, auditor will determine right FRF is identified or not. Are you getting my point? So these are 2 preconditions. Any of the precondition is violated, auditor will not accept such audit unless required by law or regulation. Fine. Done. So we have covered almost 30 to 35% of this standard. Let's revise quickly whatever we have covered. So engagement letter should be in writing. It is issued by auditor to client. And why it is issued? To avoid misunderstanding. What are the key areas that need to be included in engagement letter? So first, objective and scope of auditor financial statement. 2 points are related to auditor, responsibility of the auditor, expected form and content of the audit report, plus a statement that there can be change in the expected form and content if circumstances demand. 2 points are of management, responsibility of the management, and identification of applicable FRF. Then we elaborate the discussion of responsibility of the management. Sir, there are 3 points, and third point has 3 sub-points. Preparation of and presentation of financial statement as per applicable FRF, devising internal control necessary for preparation presentation of financial statement as per applicable FRF, and third, provide auditor information. Sir, 3 sub-point: access to all information necessary for preparation presentation of FS, additional information that auditor may require, and third, unrestricted access to the person within the entity whom auditor may think that he may require audit evidence from that person. Okay, sir. Then we connect the dots. We connect the dots beautifully. Responsibility of the management and identification of applicable FRF is a combine your preconditions. Okay, any of the precondition is violated, you will not accept such audit unless required by law or regulation. And how you will present the answer for auditor? How auditor will determine that precondition is satisfied? He will obtain agreement from management that it acknowledge and understand its responsibility. Second, auditor will determine whether identified applicable FRF is acceptable. Okay, sir. Done. Now let's move to next part, recurring audit. So first, understand the basic concept. This is a quick revision video and I am giving you conceptual understanding so you can understand my focus on the concept. So first, understand the basic gyan, basic extra knowledge you need to have. Engagement are of 2 types: initial audit engagement and the recurring audit. Initial audit engagement concept is discussed in SA510, where you can simply remember for right now that auditor has not done previous year audit. For example, Raju is appointed current year auditor. He has not done previous year audit. That is your initial audit engagement. And there is another case of recurring audit. Financial year 24-25, Raju was the auditor. Financial year 25-26, Raju is again the auditor. So that is a continuous audit, recurring audit. And our focus of discussion is of recurring audit. Okay, now try to understand. Essay 210 will be focusing on the engagement letter. Now connect the dots. Raju was the previous auditor. Raju is again the same, again the current auditor of this entity. So question arises, do auditor need to send engagement letter every year? Now, if we think logically, no. It is not compulsory that auditor need to send engagement letter every year. It is very justified that you don't need to send an engagement letter every year. But there may be some circumstances that standard defines, that standard says ki yaar, you need to revise your engagement letter or you need to remind your client about the terms and conditions. There can be some circumstances that requires auditors to remind existing terms and conditions or to revise engagement letter. And ICAI asked directly this question. So what are some circumstances? There is change in senior management, so significant change in ownership, so significant change in nature or size of the business operation. 3 points are related to business. So senior management change, nature and size of the business, significant change, and significant change in the ownership. Then 3 points are related to some legal requirement, change in applicable FRF, change in legal or regulatory requirement, and change in other reporting requirement. And 2 points are general. There is an indication that management may have misunderstood the terms and conditions, and you may need to revise some terms, or you need to add some special terms in your audit engagement. Then revise your engagement letter. So what are some circumstances that can lead to the revising of engagement letter? Please remember with me. So change in senior management, change in applicable FRF, change in other legal, change in legal and reporting, legal and regulatory requirement, change in nature and size of the business, change in ownership, significant ownership. There is a misunderstanding of some terms to the management, and you may need to revise specific terms, or you may need to add specific terms in your engagement terms and conditions. Then revise. Okay? Done, sir. Done, Janardhan. Very easy topic, very raw topic. Now let's come to the major portion of this standard, and very important, acceptance of change in terms of audit engagement. Focus. Very important, and this question can be asked in your exam directly. So acceptance of change in terms of audit engagement. There may be some circumstances when management requests auditor to change terms of audit engagement. Okay, sir. Will auditor directly accept such changes? Answer is no. Auditor will focus on the reasonable justification, whether the reason given by the management or whether the request of management is justified or not. Okay, sir. So there can be 3 instances whereby management may request auditor to change terms of audit engagement. Case number A, change in circumstances affecting the need for the service. For example, there was a case like bank was requiring X Limited to get an audited financial statement. So there was a need of the service of the audit, but right now there is no need of bank. The requirement of bank is not valid. So management is saying, auditor, I don't require the audit. That is the justified reason. Change in circumstances has changed affecting the need for the services. Okay, sir. Second, there is some misunderstanding as nature of audit as originally requested. So engagement was of audit, but client has a misunderstanding that audit is of 100% absolute assurance. That is wrong. That is misconception or misunderstanding of the nature of the audit. So audit management request auditor to change terms. Okay, sir. So if you consider these 2 points seems to be genuine. Auditor may accept such changes if reasonable justification is there, and these 2 points are valid enough. Okay, changes in circumstances affecting the need for service, misunderstanding as to the nature of audit as originally requested. focus on the third point. There is a restriction on the scope of audit engagement, either imposed by management or other circumstances. Take an example. Auditor wants to send external confirmation to some debtors to confirm account balances. Management has denied. Management is denying that you can't apply external confirmation procedure. That is the restriction on the scope of audit engagement. Yes, sir. So for particularly this point, you need to be very careful. Careful. Auditor particularly considered the implication of restrictions on the scope of audit engagement. Okay, sir. So there are three circumstances. Two circumstances seems to be genuine. Auditor may consider reasonable justification. For third factor, that is restrictions on the scope of audit engagement, either imposed by management or by other circumstances, auditor need to be very careful, need to apply professional skepticism. Okay. Changes may not to be considered reasonable if it appears that change relating to information is incorrect, incomplete, or not satisfactory. I will give you one example. So this example can be asked in your exam. It was asked in recent MTPs also. Auditor was unable to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence about the debtors. So ultimately auditor will be giving qualified or disclaimer opinion. Reason being he is unable to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence. Yes, sir. What management is doing? Management is requesting auditor, let's change audit to review. So why management is doing? To avoid getting qualified or disclaimer opinion. So whether the case of management is justified, answer is no. Request is not satisfactory, auditor will not accept such audit. Are you getting my point? Let's mark this question. So this question was asked in MTP January 2025. Question number 8. Read this question and you will get the same example. Hana, institute asked this question. What you need to do? You need to give the basic requirement of the answer, then give the conclusion part. So maximum marks will be awarded for your main content and 1 marks will be awarded for your conclusion part, fact of the case and conclusion part. Okay, sir. Done. Then if you see, there are some questions relating to key areas that need to be included in the audit engagement letter. Okay. There is a question of recurring audit. How recurring audit question can be asked in your exam? That management may give some examiner may be giving some circumstances like there is a change in senior management, change in ownership. So examiner will be asking you whether revised engagement terms is required. So you will be saying yes sir, revised engagement terms is required because due to the change in senior management falana. And then ICAI will be asking one more question, that what are the other circumstances that can lead to the requirement of the revising existing terms. This similar question was asked in RTP May 2025. Okay, got it? Done, sir. So this is your basic requirement. Now let's focus on some masala part. There is a request from management to change audit to review or related services. Change is requested and change is relating to audit to review or related services. So whether auditor can accept, auditor will focus on the reasonable justification part and auditor will consider is legal or contractual implications. Okay sir, if reasonable justification exists, auditor may accept such change. Okay sir. Now let's focus on this example. 1/4/2025 to 30/6/2025. This was old engagement and old engagement was relating to audit. 30/6/2025, after 30/6/2025, management requested and auditor accepted and new work need to be done as per the revised engagement of review or related services. Yes sir. So what auditor will consider, whether old work is relevant. If old work is relevant, he can use that work. But for the new work, he will be doing as per the revised engagement. For example, audit is converted into review or related services. So whatever is the new assignment, he will be applying new procedures according to the new revised engagement letter. Okay, sir. This is very logical. This is very logical. Old audit procedure, if relevant, use them. Apply new audit procedure as per the revised engagement terms. Whether audit to review or audit to related services. Now comes the very important part. Focus on the report of related services. As you may be knowing, report on related services is relating to non-assurance engagement, and audit is an assurance engagement. When you shift audit to related services, users may get confused if you mention everything that earlier engagement was audit, now engagement is or related services. User will get confused. Sir, why? Because audit was assurance engagement, related services of non-assurance engagement. Okay, so don't confuse users. Don't mention about old things. Whatever has happened has happened. Don't mention, don't confuse user. Report on related services. Focus, please focus. Report on related services would not include reference of original audit procedure or any procedure performed in original audit engagement. You don't need to mention original audit procedure or original audit engagement terms. Okay, but there is one exception. There is one exception. If you remember the agreed upon procedure concept, agreed upon procedure, same nature of audit procedure is applied. So in agreed upon procedure, reference to procedure is of normal part. You can mention about that. This is one exception also. Okay. You need to have a good knowledge of related services. Huh? Okay. So what I am saying, when you are shifting from audit to related services, if you are shifting from audit to related services, don't confuse user. Don't mention about original audit procedure or any procedure performed in original audit engagement. But there is one exception. When you are shifting from audit to agreed upon procedure, you can give reference to the audit procedure performed because it is a normal routine part. Okay, sir. Now let's focus on the last part. Auditor is not willing to accept new terms. Okay, fine enough. There may not be a reasonable justification, but management is forcing auditor to work only on the new terms. They are not allowing auditor to continue as per the original terms. What auditor has option now? So no option. He don't want to continue as per the new terms, and management is not allowing him to continue as per the old terms. So what auditor has option? Auditor will be withdrawing from the audit engagement. Auditor will say tata bye bye, I will not continue, I will withdraw from the audit engagement. But before withdrawing, at least determine whether you have the contractual or legal obligation to report such matter to any parties like TCWG, owners or regulators. Why you are withdrawing, whether you need to report to TCWG, owners or regulators. Just determine this part and withdraw from the audit engagement. It is not always about the money. It is about the professional behavior also. Okay, sir. And this is your homework part, objective of Essay 210. You need to read this by your own, objective of Essay 210. So this is purely first revision video in this channel. I hope you like this. Share with your South Indian friends and whoever the students who are not so much comfortable in Hindi. I am trying my best to deliver exceptionally good content to my South Indian students. If you are new to the channel, do like and subscribe to this channel, and do comment whether you liked or not. Should I continue or not? Okay, thank you so much.